Bienvenido a Café Espacial. Conduce y dirige el doctor Fermín Romero Vázquez. Análisis con expertos en materia sobre el futuro de la agenda espacial global, así como las diversas temáticas inherentes a la exploración espacial, los beneficios de la ciencia y la tecnología espacial para toda la sociedad y los problemas derivados de esta en términos de desarrollo para mejorar la calidad de vida en la Tierra y su potencial extensión a otros confines del universo a través de la nueva carrera espacial y el New Space. Café Espacial. Es momento de un café.
Hello, dear friends. This is Fermín Romero, and we'll have a special guest today. He's Jefferson Dalamura, and he's a colonel in the Brazilian Air Force, and he has a he is a postdoctoral researcher at McGill University in Canada. He specialized in space law, international governance, and the public sector law, with a PhD and master's degree in public law and an MBA in public administration. He is academic and professional background that combines military leadership with legal scholarship. At McGill Institute and Air Force University, Space Law, his current research focuses on the evolving legal frameworks governing our space activities, particularly in the role of soft law, global asymmetries, and the modernization of the international space treaties. In Brazil, he is also a university professor teaching constitutional administrative and international law. His recent publication and talks explore the intersection of public innovation, national space programs, and legal diplomacy. My dear Jefferson, welcome to Café Espacial series.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you. In this interview, I hope to share some insights of the legal and policy challenges shaping the future of space exploration. Thank you for Romero Vázquez for this invitation. For me, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
For us, it's also a pleasure, my dear Jefferson. Today, we are talking about the highlights of Space Resources Week in Luxembourg, which is really, really interesting what they're doing. And to give a little context in the space mining, the 7th edition of Space Resources Week takes place in Luxembourg, and those important and scope for the global space sector is widely relevant, and it was held from May 19th to 21st. It is an annual forum to connect with the global experts, entrepreneurs, and researchers who are shaping the future in the space resources. This event brings together space agencies, business leaders, researchers, and startups. And in a multidisciplinary format, and addresses the scientific, technological, economic, legal, and regulatory aspects related to space assets organized by the European Space Resources Innovation Center in collaboration with ESA, the Luxembourg Space Agency, and the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. Since the inauguration in 2018, this event has become the reference even in the space assets community. To start, my dear Jefferson, tell us what the new regulations or legal frameworks related to space mining were discussed among the participants during the Luxembourg event.
I would share the information that during the event, Luxembourg Ministry of the Economy reaffirmed its support for a national legal framework that encourages private investment in space resources. The European Space Resources Innovation Center emphasized the need for legal clarity to strengthen public-private partnerships and promote cross-border cooperation. No new European Union legislation was announced, but discussion stressed the importance of harmonizing space law across European member states to enhance market stability and investor confidence. Okay, at the international level, debates focus on interpreting existing treaties, Outer Space Treaty and Moon Agreement, particularly the non-appropriation principle. Legal scholars called for greater transparency and precise legal interpretation regarding space resource use. The role of soft law instruments, no binding norms, was acknowledged as crucial in guiding responsible behavior where formal regulation are lacking. While no binding legal frameworks were introduced, the event contributed to advancing global dialogue on governance, focus on private actor responsibilities and national licensing obligations.
Excellent. Well, in the coming year, resources will need to be mapped. Future architecture for the space resources will need to be planned. A roadmap for generating terrestrial research for the space technology will need to be developed. The Space Resources Week is an event of great significance for the global space sector. Its a specific focus on space resources utilization. It's multidisciplinary. So tell us what research projects or technology demonstration on IES are you that represent significant advances were present at this event?
I would point, for example, University of Oslo and European Space Agency showcased the rover integrated laser spectroscope and neutron imaging for the high precision detection of water, ice, and regolith composition. Another example, Intuitive Machines presented the Nova C lunar lander designed to deploy modular ISRU experiments and analyze lunar regolith in situ. Italian National Institute for Astrophysics contributed data from analog environments, simulate lunar and Martian surfaces, adding ISRU device validation. Emphasis was placed on the synergy between Earth-based labs and robotic missions, enabling technology testing under space-like conditions. Interest is growing in using small mobile platforms with AI-enhanced decision-making for real-time resource mapping in complex terrain. Although many systems remain experimental, the event signaled clear progress toward function and scalable ISRU operation by integrating geochemistry, sensing, and automation.
It is really interesting talking about the new space race and the new space particularly. But tell us how the private companies and space agencies plan to mitigate the legal and financial risk associated with space mining.
I would say that national licensing systems must provide the legal certainty to space mining companies while aligning with international treaties. Luxembourg's model was cited as a successful example. Risk mitigation tools are crucial to attract private investment, including public funding for early-stage projects, government co-investment programs, insurance frameworks covering mission failures and delays. European Space Agency is incorporating ISRU and space mining into long-term exploration strategies, offering demand stability and alignment with public priorities. Legal clarity is needed on ownership rights and liability responsibilities to minimize the regulatory ambiguity and investment hesitation. Public-private partnerships is so important at this point, were emphasized as a key to sharing financial and operational risks. The overall consensus a combination of legal predictability and financial safeguards is essential to force a sustainable and attractive space mining industry.
Right. Looking at this milestone, so we can observe many things, many important things, particularly beyond the Artemis agreement with NASA. And in this field, tell us what international collaboration opportunities were explored during the Space Resources Week at Luxembourg.
I can tell you that beyond the international cooperation is expanding beyond the Artemis Accords with growing emphasis on broader multilateral initiatives led by European and Asian actors. Luxembourg Minister of Economy showcased partnerships with Europe, Africa, and Asia to support investment and knowledge sharing in space resources. The European Space Agency reinforced its commitment by opening facilities like the European Astronaut Center and to international collaboration. Japan and South Korea expressing interest in joint missions focused in situ resource utilization. Academic and institutional panels called for legal and research frameworks that bridge geopolitical divides and promote shared research standards. Several discussions emphasized the evolution of United Nations-based legal forums aimed to accommodate a more diverse range of state and private actors. Overall, the event signaled the transition toward inclusive, multipolar governance, moving beyond the United States-centric Artemis model. Okay?
Sounds great hearing that those thoughts that you mentioned. I ask myself, what concrete plans for building permanent infrastructure on the moon or Mars based on in situ resources, space utilization were discussed during this Space Resources Week at Luxembourg?
I would like to share with your audience that ISRU was highlighted as a central to future Moon and Mars infrastructure, especially for supporting the life support systems and fuel production. European Space Agency and Intuitive Machines emphasizing extracting oxygen and water from regolith or ice as essential for sustainable habitats. Current ISRU systems are under testing, both in analog Earth environments and robotic missions, though none are yet fully operational. The European Space Resources Innovation Center stressed the need for resource autonomy, including extraction, processing, and storage of oxygen, water, and construction materials from local soil. Discussion include additive manufacturing to build structures on site, reducing launching costs and improving operational independence. While permanent infrastructure remains a long-term goal, the ISRU is now seen as a necessary foundation for mission planning, and it's being included in both technological roadmaps and international cooperation frameworks.
Yes, it sounds incredible. And to prepare an eventual human settlements, what role will you mentioned before? But what would be the role that the artificial intelligence and advanced robotics played in the future space resources exploration missions presented at Space Resources Week?
I would say that artificial intelligence and robotics were central themes viewed as essential and no optional for operating complex remote space environments. Panels emphasize that AI-powered robotic systems are critical for navigating hazardous terrain, making autonomous decisions, and processing data in real time. The University of Oslo present mobile platforms combining neutron imaging with AI analysis to detect water ice and minerals independently of Earth-based systems. AI is being used in mission planning and adaptive response with algorithms designed to dynamically adjust to unexpected terrain and improve safety and efficiency. AI and robotics are driving full automation of ISRU process for prospecting to extraction and storage, enabling the development of sustainable space infrastructure.
Right. Let's think in the future. In your analysis, what is expected in the short and long-term economic impact of space resources technologies on the global space industry?
I would say that short-term benefits include advances in robotics, sensors, and material science with technologies that serve both space mission and terrestrial industries. ISRU-related innovations in energy storage, water purification, and additive manufacturing are expected to grow within the next decade, fueling economic spillovers into non-space markets. Long-term impact focus on enabling local production of fuel, water, and construction materials on the Moon or Mars, reducing mission costs and supporting permanent human presence. A global space resource economy was envisioned, involving mining, transportation, processing, and commercialization, which could open new markets and generate jobs. The event concluded that space mining, while still development, is already driving innovation and laying the groundwork for a future of Earth economics ecosystem.
Right, it sounds amazing. We will see many opportunities to invest in the space industry. But talking about that, what new space industry startups or spin-offs present innovative solutions at Space Resources Week this year?
I would say that startups and spin-offs played a key role in advanced space resource utilization through innovation in prospecting, processing, and infrastructure. Astroport Space Technologies showcased a 3D printing system using lunar regolith to build infrastructure launches. Another example, Mission Control Space Service presented an AI integrated software suite for robotic missions, improving real-time adaptability and operational safety in harsh environments. Carmen Plus, introducing a compact robotic platform for early-stage resource prospecting, offering scalable solutions for new entrants in their space sector. University and agency spin-offs demonstrated the prototypes for oxygen extraction for regolith and modular water ice harvesting systems, aimed to support of Earth self-sufficiency. The event highlighted how startups are enhancing flexibility, reducing costs, and diversifying operational risks, helping to democratize a field traditionally dominated by large space agencies.
Well, sounds really incredible because many, well, you mentioned different startups that are working on this, and the advances look wonderful. But let's look some approach were recorded at Space Resources Week this year on how will the issue of environment sustainability in space and space debris mitigations be addressed in the context of space mining.
Yeah, environment, my friend. Environment. This is a big issue in this context of space law and the space use of our space. The environmental sustainability was recurring, but not dominant the theme, gaining prominence as a long-term concern in space mining. precautionary approach was widely encouraged, applying the Earth-based principles like harm prevention, transparency, and accountability to space activities. Experts proposed planetary environment impact assessments as part of licensing and mission planning to protect sensitive or scientifically valuable regions. Space debris risks were noted, especially near the moon and in Earth orbit, underlining the need for sustainable infrastructure from the outset. International coordination and data sharing were urged to avoid mission redundancy and overlapping infrastructure development. Sustainability was framed as both an ethical obligation and operational imperative for the safe, responsible, and commercially viable use of space resources.
Yeah, it's necessary to talk about these key issues because sustainability in space debris, it's our subject for a full talk about this, but what key discussions are emerging on governance and space resource allocation among the nations during the Space Resources Week?
Governance, this must be my business, no? Okay, let's talk about this. A lack of a global authority for coordinating space resource allocation was identified as a major governance gap under the current Outer Space Treaty framework. Transparency and interoperability among national licensing systems were emphasized to prevent overlapping claims, especially on the moon. The United Nations involvement was discussed as a possible solution, but no consensus emerged on establishing a centralizing international agency. Academic experts revisit the common heritage of mankind principle from the Moon Agreement, advocating for the benefit sharing, though political resistance to ratification remains strong. In the absence of binding global norms, in my opinion, is the big problem, okay? It's the big problem. Regional and bilateral initiatives, such as European policies and the Artemis Accord, were viewed as an interim mechanism to foster responsible behavior and lay the groundwork for future multilateral agreements.
I agree absolutely with you. There's a big problem talking about the multilateral or legal binding agreements against soft law in this, especially for space mining. But tell us, have there been advances in the detection and mapping of specific resources, such as water, ice, rare metals, or on different celestial bodies?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so impressed with the some information that I could kept in this week. Neutron imaging by University of Oslo was highlighted for detecting hydrogen-rich zones beneath the surface, crucial for locating water ice on the Moon and Mars. The European Space Agency showcased a laser-based spectroscopy, as I mentioned before, tools for robotic platforms, enabling real-time mineral analysis during exploration. Intuitive machines present the Nova Sea Lander, which will platform in situ regolith composition analysis on the Moon using onboard sensors. Analog missions and laboratory simulations were emphasized as a vital for validating instruments and refining detection protocols under space-like conditions. Integration of spectroscopy, robotics, and AI is transforming autonomous resourcing mapping into a viable component of future mine missions.
Excellent. So it sounds really impressive, all these issues that were analyzed and discussed during the Space Resources Week in Luxembourg. But let's go into a short brief, short pause, and then we will come back to review these important issues.
Okay.
Desde las situaciones más leves hasta las más graves, 24 horas del día, los 365 días del año donde te encuentres. ¿Sabías que en los casos de emergencia, los primeros minutos son fundamentales para preservar la vida de una persona? En casos como una parada cardíaca, problemas respiratorios graves, infartos, accidentes cerebrovasculares, entre muchas otras, la atención que recibe el paciente antes de llegar al hospital es fundamental para su salud. Y es que AMI es la empresa líder del mercado que está siempre lista para cuidar de ti y tu familia. ¿Cómo lo logramos? Contamos con una flota de ambulancias con tecnología de punta, ubicadas en puntos estratégicos de la ciudad para garantizar siempre una atención oportuna a tu llamado. Pero AMI es mucho más que un servicio de ambulancias. Con AMI tienes la tranquilidad de contar con un médico a domicilio siempre que lo necesites para ti, los abuelos y los más pequeños de casa. 1 de la mañana tienes fiebre y no te sientes bien, tranquilo, aquí está AMI. Nos llamas, te atendemos sin necesidad de que salgas de tu casa con mínimo estrés y sin costos adicionales. Además, los medicamentos para estabilizar tu situación de salud son gratis. Y no solo eso, con AMI cuentas con una gran variedad de servicios complementarios para tu protección y la de tu familia. Visita programada de pediatra a domicilio para tener la situación de los pequeños siempre controlada. Servicio de farmacia a domicilio. Análisis de laboratorio clínico en casa. Cuidados de enfermería en la comodidad de tu hogar. Y lo mejor de todo, puedes incorporarte a la cobertura de AMI a cualquier edad, sin examen médico previo, sin preexistencia y sin límite en la utilización del servicio. Los adultos mayores son bienvenidos. Además, ponemos a tu disposición un amplio directorio médico de especialistas con grandes descuentos para nuestros clientes de AMI. Queremos ofrecerte lo más valioso y sabemos que es tu salud. Por eso, AMI protege a los tuyos ante cualquier problema de salud.
México, te quiero despierto, te anhelo vibrante, te pienso fiel, latiendo al ritmo de tu recuerdo, camino en el renacer. Corazón de maguey, corazón de maguey, 1000 mentes son más de 1000 razones buenas, la tradición, el color de la luna nueva, corazón de maguey, corazón de maguey.
Well, my dear friends, we are again with Jefferson Dalamura, and in this second part, we are talking. We will review many other issues that were discussed and analyzed during the Special Week in Luxembourg. And my dear Jefferson, tell us what lunar or Martian regulated processing methods have been highlighted for their efficiency and scalability.
Okay. I could mention thermal extraction was highlighted for releasing oxygen from metal oxides in regolith. European Space Agency demonstrated successful trials in vacuum heated conditions. molten regolith electrolysis separate oxygen and yields in construction metals like aluminum and iron, energy intensive but multifunction. Microwave sintering fuses regolith into bricks or tiles using microwave energy. Useful for building landing pads and shelters with minimal imported materials. Some days I will have a house with this kind of bricks, but bioleaching is an emerging method using microbes to extract valuable elements, particularly promising for Martian conditions. Emphasis was placed on automation and scalability to ensure these techniques are viable in lunar and Martian environments. These technologies support closed-loop systems, reducing reliance on Earth, and enable sustainable infrastructure and life support in deep space missions.
Right. There are, of course, too many advances in these technologies. But what specific technological challenges were identified as priorities for the future research and development at the ISRU?
I highlight debris. Dust mitigation is a top concern. Abrasive, electrostatically charged regolith damages mechanical systems and solar panels. Solutions include protective coatings and electrostatic removal systems to preserve long-term equipment performance. Energy generation and storage pose challenges due to the high ISRU power demands and limited power availability in space. Proposed innovations include lightweight solar arrays for the moon and advanced battery systems. Automation is essential due to communication delays and harsh environments on the moon and Mars. AI-powered autonomous excavation, processing, and transport systems are critical for effective ISRU. System integration and miniaturization are needed. Current ISRU prototypes are too large and not suitable for space deployment. Interdisciplinary innovation in robotics, materials, energy systems, and artificial intelligence is required to overcome these technical barriers.
Right. Personally, I met some people who is involved in this or interested in this in the space mining. For example, they are developing rovers to explore the to explore the surface of the moon, and probably they are very interested to know how is the global workforce preparing for the demands of an emerging space resources industry.
Workforce development was presented as a strategic pillar for the long-term sustainability on the space resource sector. Cross-disciplinary training was emphasizing blending engineering, law, planetary science and robotics, and system thinking. Expansion of educational programs tailored to space resources was highlighted, combining theory with hands-on experience in simulated environments. Partnerships with universities by the Luxembourg Space Agency aim to accelerate skills in ISRU and space governance. International collaboration was encouraged through joint training programs, internships, and student exchange, especially involving emerging space nations. Retaining terrestrial professionals, example for mining, energy, and telecom, to apply their expertise to space sectors was promoted. Core message: talent development is a central driver of resilience, innovation, and ethical leadership in the emerging space economy.
Right. Well, the space regime, particularly these issues, they have too much to work with. What a specific role is Luxembourg expect to play in facilitating investments, for example, or projects in the sector after Space Resources Week?
As Luxembourg's strategic role highlights, I could say, pioneering legal frameworks. Luxembourg was among the first to recognize private rights to over space extracted resources, positioning itself as a legal trailblazer. Okay, committed to regulation and investments. Government officials reaffirmed support for regulatory clarity, financial incentives, and international cooperation. Space resources in Luxembourg continues to attract startups and aerospace leaders through long-term policy stability and investment readiness. As RIC as a central hub, the European Space Research Innovation Center plays a key role in research, incubation, and public-private partnerships for technical validation. Expanding international collaboration, Luxembourg is strengthening ties with agencies, universities, and companies across Europe, North America, and beyond. From host to architect, this event confirmed the Luxembourg activist role in shaping governance models, economic strategies, and technological innovation for the future of space mining.
Yeah, so definitely Luxembourg and US are the leaders in the space regulation for space mining. But tell us what lessons learned from recent space missions, such as lunar or asteroid missions, were shared in relation to in situ resources utilization.
I could appoint missions like Artemis 1, Chang'e 5, and Hayabusa 2 offered key lessons despite no mission serving as a definitive template. Critical technical takeaways. I could mention needs identified include autonomous systems, efficient power management, and dust mitigation solutions to withstand extreme conditions. It's important to highlight this. The need for the situation involving extreme conditions, because on Earth, we can solve the problem, but we have to identify the circumstances in the space. Regolith behavior matters. Lunar and asteroid soil behaviors differently from Earth, analogous, impacting excavation, mobility, and anchoring, underscoring the need for Earth-based analogous testing. Advocate for modular architecture, small scale. Resilient ISRU payloads were recommended for volatile detection and regolith processing as low-risk validation tools. Data sharing and standardized reporting are vital to create a shared knowledge base, especially as a private and international actors growing in number. Shaping the ISRU roadmap. These missions are actively informing strategies for future ISRU deployments across lunar and asteroid environments.
Good, many lessons. But in this field, how is space mining expected for those future manned missions beyond low Earth orbit for you?
Experts emphasize that sustainable Moon and Mars missions require local resource extraction to life support, construction, and fuel generation. Mining lunar regolith or Martian ice enables the production of oxygen and hydrogen, reducing dependency on Earth-based resupply. Technologies to turn a regolith into bricks or title were discussed as tools to build habitats and infrastructure on site, enhancing mission flexibility. Support for interplanetary mobility is another issue. Locally produced propellants could power missions from the Moon to Mars, lowering costs and expanding exploration range. The need for safe mining practice was stressed, including environment monitoring and human-robot interaction protocols. Space mining is no longer just a support activity. It's become a central, it's important to highlight, it's becoming a central to architecture of sustaining human presence beyond Earth.
Yes, of course, space mining has been a central issue, of course. And talking about that, were the critical and societal implications spending human activity in space for resource exploitation discussed?
Concerns were raised about whether development countries will have fair access to participate and benefit from space mining activities, reflecting the principle that our space is the province of all humankind. Speakers discussed the need to limit the human impact on the moon, Mars, and asteroids. Many advocated precautionary measures inspired by Earth environment regulations. Emphasis was placed on protecting celestial bodies from irreversible damage, acknowledging their potential scientific, cultural, or symbolic value for the future generations. A key message was that ethical foresight must accompany legal and commercial strategies to ensure responsible and sustainable space exploration.
Excellent, excellent. This question is for a little bit for the organizers, but particularly for you. What criteria were used to determine the success of Space Resources Week and its contribution to the space industry?
High-level attendance from space agencies, research centers, private companies, and international organizations confirmed that events cross-sector influence. Sessions covered all key aspects of ISRU: detection, processing, mission design, and governance, with practical demos enhancing their impact. The event brought together legal experts, engineers, investors, and policymakers, fostering regulatory and technological alignment. It's so important. This alignment is fundamental for the development of the space activities. It sparked a momentum for new initiatives, including bilateral cooperation, legal harmonization, and future institutional frameworks. Success was defined by the depth of ideas exchanged, the relevance of innovations presented, and the groundwork laid for lasting collaborations.
Excellent. Well, the letters of the agreements drafted during this Space Resources Week sounds great. But tell us which panels or keynote speakers were considered to be the most influential or disruptive in this space resources field.
In my opinion, I will highlight here some keynotes that I do prefer, but keynote highlight sustainable development in space, policy planning and economics, introduced a practical framework for aligning infrastructure and financial with sustainability in the space projects. The session Perspective the Moon showcased the cutting-edge detection tools, as I mentioned, neutral imaging, laser spectroscopy, compact spectrometers, revealing readiness for near-future ISRU missions. And legal aspects do regarding our space addressed the responsible behavior in orbit, transparency, and fair access, reinforce the need for clear global legal coordination. Startups and researchers, especially in Europe, present robotic and ISRU technologies that disrupted the conventional assumptions about timeline and system design. These sessions reshaped the thinking of governance, mission planning, and technical feasibility, establishing new benchmarks for the new field.
Great. besides the responsible behavior and sustainability in space mining, do you think finance and aerospace engineering are a crucial issue to evaluate in the future?
I would say that in the future that we have ahead, I would like to mention that the transition from experimental in situ resource utilization to operational space mining, especially on the moon. Forecast for the 2030s, the infrastructure projects such as lunar regolith processing and water ice extraction for fuel and life support will become viable, driven by advances in robotics and ISRU systems. Success will rely on strong, it's important to highlight this, public-private cooperation to security funding, reducing regulatory uncertainty, because this is a big problem, regulatory uncertainty, and build resilient supply chains. Education and training are the key. University and space agencies are encouraged to launch multidisciplinary programs in ISRU, robotics law and sustainability. And about international governance, progress is expected toward more coherent legal framework on resource rights, environment protections, and equitable access. And a final reflection, as I see in the event, if approach responsibility, space mine can evolve into an ethical, scientifically grounded, and internationally coordinated economic activity.
Right. In the context of the new space race and the new space, what is the expectation of the Space Resources Week organizers and yours, for the development of space mining in the next 15 or 20 years?
As I mentioned, the future has uncertainty because we need some regulation with the strength necessary to be respected. This is a big problem because we can't face the situation that we have a big development of the techniques about the science, but we are not, in my opinion, to be honest, we are not prepared to discuss with each other the rules that must be respected because it's important. We have a legal certainty to go ahead, to move ahead. We have to construct new rules to consider our perspective in the future. Because I know the technology, it's a common situation. We are growing stair by stairs in the future ahead, okay? But we now facing the same situations that concerns me related to the time of the First and Second World War, and the nations were discussing about territories and exploring some spaces. And now we face the same issue, but now we have another environment, so much more dangerous, and this is our concern about that, about the future of the space activities.
Yes, you're right. And talking about that, I think, when I think in the evolving legal frameworks governing the other space activities, in particular the role of sub-law and the global symmetries, what is your positions about the modernization of international space law or treaties?
We have a great challenge ahead. I would like to, in my opinion, I would like to have this opportunity to highlight just a proposal, just an idea. When observe the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, okay, and its rules must be observed, because if you not observe the rules inside the ICAO, What's the problem? Oh, you received a rank that you're classified as a not security nation, so the planes can go fly through. And in the space, we don't have the same situation. In my opinion, I propose maybe enforcement of the United Nations with UNOSA or CAPUS as an executive agency with hard law power to produce norms that must be respected for everyone. I know it's a difficult situation to approve that because we have a different position of all the nations. I know this, it's a difficult way, but soft law, in my opinion, is not the only measure that can solve all the problems. We have to face this challenge. We have to be prepared to analyze the need to establish some hard law that must be observed. Although I know this is a difficult task in the future.
Definitely, the challenges are huge, but thinking a little bit in our region, Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, for example, how do you think they are prepared for space mining?
First of all, in my opinion, we have to spread the knowledge about what's happening around the world. Because our universities, in my opinion, and I'm talking specifically on Brazil universities, we can face the situation that Brazilians are not aware about what's happening in the space environment. And the universities, it's important to study space law. Oh, it's a good expression. What is it? We're enrolled in a postdoctoral program in space law. What is it? And because our lives, it's the technology that came from the space activities, we cannot live without them. And our population are not, must be conscious the implications of the use of our space in our lives. And first of all, I recommend for our countries and development that we have to be prepared inside the universities to prepare the future generations to be aware with the opportunity of use of our space. Because you can say, but we don't have enough money to invest in this area. Okay, it's a common situation to talk, but it's not just a money problem. It's a problem that involves the knowledge problem, because we must to be spread these contributions, what the countries are doing in the space, what are the main discussions. This must be faced with responsibility with the future generations. It's my opinion, my friend. And
Great, I agree. Definitely, it's a problem of knowledge. So you tell that. And let's work on this. And to finish this wonderful talk, my friend, give us a final reflection. What do you see in the future of space mining, and how do you see our countries in that scenario?
The future of space mining, in my opinion, is unpredictable. But we can see what happened in the past. Because we're talking about space mining. Okay, it's a hard situation. I know it's a strong expression, but we can face our history and pay attention what happened in the past, just to not commit the same mistakes in the past when discuss about resources, because we are talking about space resources, okay, but the space resources, we say, if you are not prepared to administrate the Earth resources, are we prepared to lead with the challenges involving space resources? And I think we have to be prepared, more prepared, studying what happened in the past, and to predict the future about the use of these resources. Because, okay, it's very nice. I have some water from the moon. Okay. Oh, I can produce oxygen. But we are prepared to for the conflicts or dispute the owners of the situation. This is it's not about the technology. It's about to be human. Just be human and cooperate with each other, not dispute with another resource to be richer in the future.
Very important reflection. How the humans will be coordinating or in conflict in the moon, for example, or far in Mars. I don't know. It will be dependent on our own organizations, definitely. Well, my friend, it was a real pleasure to talk with you on these important issues. Let's say thank you to our audience, and thank you to you. And let's see you soon.
Thank you. The pleasure was entirely mine. Thank you so much for this invitation, my friend, and see you.
See you.